you so much for watching my stream. Before you jump into this red hot action, let's review the rules. Don't be a dick. This should go without saying, but better safe than sorry. Chat with me. You know that I can talk at my computer for hours, but it's more fun when my computer talks back. And let's have a good time. I don't mind getting sweaty, but we can have fun while we do it. Use the chat command deck for a link to the list I'm playing here. It's also in the video description. Some of these decks are sick, and you might want to play them in real life. In that case, let me refer you to Hemel from the Bazaar. It's never been more affordable to play in the flesh and blood. Players have been buying the cards they need from Hemel for years. I started buying from him in 2023 and have never found a better deal. The Bazaar's prices are the lowest for singles, full sets, and class sets, including new releases. Super Slam singles and more are available now and ship both domestically and internationally. Use the command Hemel for contact info, then reach out to see what he can do for you. Now settle in and get cozy because the stream begins now. What's up everyone? Lupinefiasco. Happy to be here streaming for all of you. I'm back from hardened Sonoma, ready to play some Kayo. I know that I have been promising some Syndra for today. The reason that we're not doing that is I want to play Peter Verdenzic's really cool Syndra list from this weekend. Came in 4th in the Battle Hardened, came in, won the ProQuest Plus. Just a really cool list. I don't know if Reckless Stampede is going to be right into Marionette. Really cool list, really fun list. He's going to be making a post about it later this week for his YouTube channel, and I want to let him get the first crack at it, so I am not going to post about it here. I'm not going to play it yet. I'm going to play it later this week because it's just a really cool list. So playing Kayo instead, just running it into Talishar. We are going to push some damage against this Marionette turn 0. I'm going to forego the Arsenal, which I don't super mind doing against an Assassin. What are we pushing? 5 damage here, assuming that this last card blocks for 3. So how was my Battle Hardened? I went 9th, placed 9th in the Battle Hardened. Not ideal, but it was my first time bubbling at 9th. Felt like I was certainly due for it. I had a fine weekend, went 5-2 overall. I lost 2 rounds. I was 5-0 to start the day, and just was not able to close it out. Unfortunately, dropped the game in round 6 to an Ira and dropped the game in round 7 to Verdance. Hi Narbnod, hi Brandon, good to see you. Am I ever blocking this Arachne? Not with this hand, I'm not. I'm just going to send Buckwild into Strongest Survive and get some blocks out of Marionette. I don't want to give armor to block the Hunter's Clave. I was playing Syndra this weekend. On Saturday, I was playing my own personal list. Feel better about not blocking, especially with something like a Savage Sash. On Sunday, I was playing sort of a mix of what I was... Whoa! Plunder the Poor. You are contracted to banish opponent's cards with cost 1 or less. When you complete this contact, create a silver token. Well, I don't really play any of these, and you are not Huntsman, so you don't get to decide if the top of my deck is Bloodrush Bellow or Run Roughshod. I'm not blocking this. I don't want to stay marked. Arachne gets nothing from this. I'm totally... This is... We just saw Taylor Morrow come in 2nd in the Sonoma Battle Hardened with Arachne Huntsman, so maybe some people are trying some new things, but this is pretty wild. So I was playing Syndra. I went 5-0 against a Marlin, Dory, Marionette, Marlin, Blanking on what the 5th round was. It was a very weird breakdown for Sonoma. There were a lot of weird heroes floating around. Very few of what I would have expected the top of the meta to be. If you watched All In Together's tier list last week with myself and Flesh and Bad, I was expecting Syndra, Florian, Verdance, Gravy, Kayo. And there was a good amount of that represented at the Battle Hardened, but I played very little of that. I was playing the weird heroes, and yeah, Syndra is good against the weird heroes because you can just roll over people, but it did mean that a lot of my tournament prep just went out the window. We just get a full block from Marionette here. We get full tempo. I'm perfectly happy with that. This card in Arsenal could be a Codex, which doesn't super get me. There it is. Codex and Frailty, you are going to pick up Plunder the Poor, which I don't really care about. I can pick up Wild Ride here to put in the Arsenal. Discard Wild Ride from hand, I suppose. It doesn't super matter. And then I get to do a 4-card Blood Rush with Wild Ride. So that is what we're going to do. I'm going to put Sash in front of this Plunder the Poor so that I can get my full value from it if I decide to break it next turn, which is a very good chance that I do. Aggro Dory caught me by surprise. Yeah, the one that I played against, I felt like just kind of drew poorly against me, but otherwise I'm not confident in the Syndra matchup. I just got to do the thing at one point, which felt really good, but like there was no special Dory tech. They were just like playing Dawnblade Dory. Like, yeah, I mean, I suppose that's good. If you're expecting a bunch of aggro decks, especially ones that don't block, then yeah, Dory can be very strong. It was not what I was expecting. We could make this a Sash turn, and I think I'm supposed to make this a Sash turn. If I don't, I just Buck Wild, Wild Ride, pass. I'm missing 4 points of value if I don't Sash here. It should be 5, but I'm frail, so my Claw's only going to attack for 4. I think that's still fine. I want to get my value where I can. Do send the Buck Wild first. I'm going to send Buck Wild, Claw, Wild Ride. I just want to make sure that I don't rip a Blood Rush off the top with Wild Ride and miss out on the Claw value. I'm not marked, so Arachnid could have a defense reaction to mark me and then use Mask of Deceit to flip into Black Widow. Just the fact that they're putting so many cards down, I mean, we'll see. Overcrowded, that is something that I was really impressed with this weekend. Very impressed with Overcrowded. Even in Syndra, just being able to block from Arsenal to stuff a pulping from Kayo felt really good. But Kayo generally, if you have a fealty and they have like might, you block for 4. If they have might and agility, you block for 5. If they live in a world where they have might, agility, and vigor, then you block for 6. And it felt very impressive to me all weekend. Something I really want to experiment with in Syndra. So 5-0 in Battle Hardened Sonoma with my own personal Syndra list. Kiss of Death. This is 3, no go again currently. I've seen 1 Tarantula Toxin. This hand sets up a Blood Rush. I want to play Strongest Survive for 8, discard Agile Windup to make Might and Agility, and then Arsenal the Blood Rush and just have armor available to cover whatever disruption comes next. I'm gonna say no blocks here. If Marionette wants to do something, that's great. Looks like it's just a 0 for 4, which, cool. Marionette is gonna have to respect Strongest Survive for 8. We currently have no tokens on the board. I am going to discard Agile Windup after the attack goes through, especially having seen Overcrowded from my opponent. No defense reactions yet. This does have plus power, so Den of the Spider would be enough to mark me. But the fact that Mask of Deceit needs to be used to block first makes me feel great. I'm not marked. Marionette is just going to randomly flip into one of 6 options. Some of them are very good, some of them won't be. Coercive Tendency. So you are just playing Huntsman, but Marionette. Flipping into Tarantula is probably the best one for me that this could flip into. Let's see what we get shown from Strongest Survive. I'm assuming a 0 for 4, which Marionette seems to be playing a number of. Yeah, we see Surgical Extraction. Go ahead and discard the wind-up here. Surgical Extraction is where I cash in armor, though I'm a little scared because this seems to be a Huntsman cosplay. Could very well be a cut to the chase in hand or arsenal, in which case that's kind of a yikes. But I'm just going to put Fleshbag and Leathers in front of this and see what happens. Intimidate the card from hand. If this is an attack reaction in arsenal, then I get got here. Otherwise, I think I'm probably just win the game this turn. I'm a little blue light currently, so this could be bad. The agility is not immediately useful. Discard the Wild Ride is not really what I wanted to discard, but we do draw into another blue, so I feel good there. This hand sends Swing Big for 11 go again, Claw for 5 go again, Buck Wild for 9 go again. It's perfectly fine. I have no way to discard this Beast Within. Arachne's just taking some damage. So yeah, we're just pushing lethal. No value out of Tyrannical Rex this game so far. And let's see if Arachne wants to block or if they are just going to die. Does my opponent want to play the game with me? Survey says yes. Putting them to 5, getting 3 cards. That's the second Tarantula Toxin that we've seen. And our pitch stack here doesn't matter. We just draw into some cards. Have Infiltrate, attacking for 3. This was not a contract attack reaction. It could be a stealth attack reaction. Do I care about this Infiltrate? Not really, but I do care more that this hand doesn't convert. I suppose it does. Pitch Blue for Claw, discard Wind Up, pitch Swing Big for Bear Fangs. Yeah, we can say no blocks here. This is not a shred. I suppose I will just block like this. This could be a Tarantula Toxin. Oh, you're Marionette, right, so you do get over with your hero power. We'll take 1 here, lose the top card of our deck. We are marked and then not marked. Let's see if Arachne can use the action point. Strongest Survive is not something I'm particularly afraid of. It is an on-hit that I need to care about. But if this is only attacking for 7, I can put a card from hand in front of it and then show literally any attack in my deck. I'm going to send the Bear Fangs here instead of the Swing Big. If I rip a Blood Rush off the top, I'm pretty sad about it. But otherwise, I just get more value. Although at this point we've already triggered Kayo, so I am just going to send the Swing Big to make sure that I don't rip a Blood Rush off the top and lose value that way. We've seen 2 of them. There is still a 3rd one in the deck. Our opponent may be going to 3 here and just sending Strongest Survive. Which at this point I can just take the damage and reveal Show of Strength. Which is what I am going to do. What I'm doing this turn is going to be Wild Ride, pitching Mighty Windup, hope to keep the Show of Strength. If I don't, I still get to push a bunch of damage. Hi Andrew. Yeah, it is going well. I'm working on my streamer skills by playing a game poorly and also telling a story poorly. We've established that I went 5-0 at Battle Hardened Sonoma with 2 rounds left in Swiss. Eventually, we're going to detail, okay, so now I just win the game, what happened in the 2 rounds that I lost. Okay, great, there we go. So we heavily outvalue our opponent. We just get to do KO things for basically every turn of the game. We resolve 2 Blood Rush Bellows, They were both at least 3 chain links wide. I found that the Kayo Marionette matchup is pretty doomed for Marionette. Our Marionette was doing a Huntsman cosplay with cards like Coercive Tendency. There was a Plunder the Poor that got played. We've seen 2 of them so far. Sort of a weird Marionette list. I do like Plunder the Poor in an aggro matchup. It's just a 0 for 4 that makes a silver against something like a Syndra. But even then, we're not attacking Syndra's hand, so I don't entirely see the point. But good on our Marionette for trying something new. Nice story time with Lupine. I'm not nearly as skilled as Majin at doing story time. So round 6, pair into a semi-local of mine, Winston Lee, playing Ira. And I'm still playing Syndra, favored into Ira. If you board correctly, and I did not. And the reason I didn't board correctly is Winston is a mainstay at the Golden Gate Battlegrounds, which is NorCal's own personal version of the AGE Open. Winston terrorized the top 8 at the last GGB, playing Fatigue Ira, and so everything I know about Winston, having never played them in person, is this is a Fatigue player, and I'm going into the matchup thinking they're going to fatigue me as Syndra, and so I board up to 65 cards, play everything that I think could be reasonable against Fatigue Ira, and it turns out that they are just aggro, and it was clearly Fatigue Ira with an aggro switchboard, but it isn't like they're playing a bunch of D-Reacts, or Oasis Respite, or Sigil of Solace, or any of that. They're just playing aggro Ira. So I get them to 3 and then die. And that was frustrating, because, as I learned, not having enough reps on Syndra leading up to the event, you can't passively fatigue Syndra. You can actively fatigue Syndra. It's difficult, but you can do it. But you can't passively fatigue a Syndra. So I'm supposed to just play my game, board 60 cards. I'm not saying that if I board correctly, I 100% win that game, but I do think that if my hands are slightly higher value and I'm not thrown off by presenting the wrong game plan, that I could probably get there and lock myself for top 8. That was frustrating. Not taking anything away from Winston, they played a great game, clearly know their Ira deck, clearly know the Syndra matchup. But it was just a little frustrating that I don't even want to say I was baited, because a field full of fatigue players are going to correctly identify this Ira is trying to fatigue them and then pass that information along. Makes sense. But it did feel like, oh, this really could have been something better than what it ended up being. How do I want to address this, Gravy Bones? I have this Wild Ride, so I could, in theory, go 2 chain links. If I draw a blue and discard one of these reds, I could send 3 chain links. Or I could just send Command and Conquer. I guess Crown of Providence says no. Yeah, we'll Wild Ride here. My other option was just putting the Wild Ride into Arsenal to have go again for when Gravy inevitably develops an ally. I didn't get psyoped, though, because the fatigue players were just sharing, yeah, we were getting fatigued. No one in GGB Top 8 was playing aggro, so it makes sense that they wouldn't know what's happening, or they wouldn't correctly identify, yeah, this is what this player is trying to do. I baited myself by just not knowing that you can't really do that to Syndra. And if I know that you can't passively fatigue Syndra, I'm just boarding for aggro. So I was a little tilted coming off of that, honestly. Again, Winston played it totally a very good game, not taking anything away from them. It was just my own personal mistake of not knowing how Syndra works into Ira and then saying, please don't sink your Arsenal. We're so up. We are up tremendous. Gravy value blocks with Crown of Providence, and then we Command and Conquer. Oh, we're doing it. So, going to round 7 now. I am 5-1. I am theoretically still alive for top 8. There is some speculation based on breakers. There was an X1 pair down that could lose. Typically in battle hardens, if you are not X1, you are out of top 8 contention. But there's, theoretically, there's a world where an NX2 will make it in. and I need to play against my teammate, Austin Kim, on Verdance. Extremely good Verdance player. Very knowledgeable about Verdance, very skilled in the Syndra matchup. So I'm spooked here. Speaking of spooked, did you make a gold this turn? You did. Okay, so this is an active hook. Or it is not a dry hook. So how am I going to address this? I do want to block this to keep Gravy off gold. I do want to kill the Rigor Mortis. I probably want to Arsenal this Buckwild if I can, but I guess I'm going to Arsenal this Bear Fangs instead, which means that I can... How much do I want to set up here? So I can block with Savage Sash, Show of Strength, and Mighty Windup to cover the Rigor Mortis, pitch Buckwild to claw the Rigor, and then Arsenal the Bear Fangs. Or I could block with Savage Sash, Leathers, and Show of Strength, claw the Rigor, discard the Mighty Windup to make 2 mites. I think it is more valuable for me to save my equipment. So I will just block with cards from hand. I think the go again, or I don't think the 2 mites are going to be as valuable as having armor for later in the game. And we kill the Rigor. I don't know that I think it's better for me to be clearing the board early, especially with the Sawbones in graveyard. I don't want to let the onboard allies get too much away from me. Maybe if it isn't Rigor, I could just ignore it. Leave it around for a while, like if it's an Oyston, I can leave it alive. This is a hand that does not block well. Now we have a Conqueror coming in. That is unfortunate, especially because I have 2 non-blocks, and my armor doesn't really convert well here. This Buckwild not being a 3-block is tragic for me. So I could give... I don't want to give Sash, definitely. I could give Fleshbag. I could give Gauntlets, Scabskins, Buckwild, Run Roughshod to cover the Conqueror. And then on my turn, just play Bear Fangs from hand, pitching Wild Ride. Gravy hasn't played a blue yet. Does not really have a way to get this Sawbones onto the board. If I Fleshbag away one of these cards, then Gravy definitely can't do it. Has not put an ally into the graveyard yet, so Dead Threads is not online. So this might be the line I'm supposed to take. It's unfortunate that this is Conqueror. I wish that my arsenal wasn't under attack here. But this is a turn that I can cash in. Unlike Syndra, where I can more easily keep off Arsenal to play around Conqueror, Kayo just has a harder time doing it. But this should end Gravy's turn. And there it is, so we get to throw this Bear Fangs. Unfortunately, still no go again in Arsenal. But we're threatening damage. We are establishing a life lead that will hopefully convert to, at some point in the game, me being far enough ahead that I get to just ignore whatever's on Gravy's board. Discarding the Buckwild here is tragic. We really want go again, especially with the Sawbones in graveyard. Flood in the Water coming down. Does Gravy have the ally off the top? No, ally from hand. So Rigor Mortis goes to graveyard, which is something I need to be concerned about, but at least Gravy didn't just get to cheat resources with a card off the top. Wild Ride, Pulping. We've seen 2 Blood in the Waters now. One was played, one was pitched earlier. I haven't seen a Sink Below yet, and I don't have a way to know if this Gravy is playing with Sink Belows. Chart coming off the top, rather good for Gravy. We don't need to respect this Saltwater Swell. So far, Gravy hasn't made a gold yet this turn, so I'm not expecting Hook to do anything. If Gravy does activate Hook without making a gold, I am snap blocking with these 2. Sawbones for 6. How much do I want to respect the Sawbones? I can just take this damage. I believe the line is going to be Wild Ride, Pitching Smash Instinct. Hopefully I draw, discard one of these reds and keep it blue so I can claw Sawbones and then send more damage to Gravy's face. We do have this Bear Fangs in Arsenal, so I'm not concerned about my ability to kill the Sawbones. If Gravy has a Fearless Confrontation with the Sawbones effect to protect it from Claw, that's pretty unfortunate. But I think we should be okay. If Gravy taps the Sawbones, it means he isn't attacking with it on the next turn. It's round 7, parent to Austin Kim, fantastic Verdance player, knows the Syndra matchup very well. Oh, we're so good at this game. We can get to Arsenal this pulping. Extremely skilled at Verdance, knows the Syndra matchup very well, is very teched for it. I am a lot less confident about the, oh, we might not get to Arsenal this because Bear Fangs. I might just send this at Gravy then. I'm less confident about the Syndra Verdance matchup. They're very teched for it. Land of Leaves is an insane card that exists for some reason. And honestly, okay, there's the sink below. So we've seen 3 defense reactions. That means I am definitely ending my turn on this pulping. I don't want to rely. What did Austin tech for it? He was playing, this is like Erase Face. He's on 3 Erase Faces, which I don't think every Syndra or every Verdance is playing. But it's, you know, just very good. It's more disruption. Right? It's the same thing with Florian. Like, you just need ways to slow Syndra down. And Erase Face is like, well, it's kind of tragic. We just take a point of damage and IP this turn. So, the Erase Face just slows Syndra down. It isn't always relevant against Syndra, especially with Peter's list playing more of the just generic or ninja 0 for 4s. Sometimes you Erase Face the Syndra and she says, okay, great. Like, attack, attack, attack. You're going to tipple me with the hook activation? Deal. But there are other Syndra hands where Erase Face matters a lot. If Syndra draws something like Rake Over the Coals, Wrath of Retribution, just wants to get more daggers out, then it can be problematic. And there were 2 times in that game. Austin Erase Faced me twice. The first one was not relevant. The second one was extremely relevant on a big turn, a Spreading Flames turn I was trying to put together. Rigor coming for 6. This has a Loot the Hold attached to it. This hand just doesn't convert very well. I don't want to roll Scabs here because I need to clear this Rigor. So I'm definitely blocking here and then probably going block, giving up some power reds. I'm going to pitch this blue to claw the Rigor and then just pass. If Gravy didn't have an ally down this turn, I might go ahead and roll Scabs just to try to convert this hand, but as it is, I can't leave the 1 for 6 alive. I guess they didn't give Base of the Mountain there. I imagine they're saving it for pulping, like a start of turn pulping, so that they can take the go again away. But having seen multiple defense reactions, I'm never going to start with a pulping if I can avoid it. Keeping the blue because I want to be able to play go again when I find it. Jittery Bones, do you discard off the top or from hand? Discarding from hand. Oyston, I will never block or I will never kill an Oyston. That will live the entire game. But we do have this Scuba that I'm expecting to come down at some point. The Scuba is going to get killed by Buckwild. What I'm thinking this turn is going to be is Buckwild the Scuba, Strongest Survive face. So far, Gravy has not made a gold, so this is a dry hook, which I will also block just to make sure that the hook goes away. I never have to respect it again. Let's see if Gravy has anything tied to this Scuba. You are dry hooking it? That's pretty wild. So if you're gonna dry hook here, I do need to block this. Oh, never mind, because that's how scuba works. So you bottomed my wild ride. It's not bad for me. At this point, with you already having 2 gold, how much do I care about you having a 3rd gold? I am going to Buck Wild the Scuba. If I block with Rex and Strongest Survive, I then just Rex Bare Fangs the Gravy. That seems fine. Go ahead and block like that. Keep Gravy off of 3 gold seems reasonable. Oh wait. I can't do this. Sorry, I need to block with this red so that I can keep a blue. I'm bad at this game. Anyway, playing against Austin, he just has it. Starting very early, he just has enough value with D-Reacts, Disruption, to make up for Verdance not having a hero power while she's decomposing. He finds the hero power fairly early, and just runs away with the game. And as much as I complain about Verdance, a 40 health hero, having access to Stormstriders, he didn't even need it to kill me. Like, he just got there based off of Disruption, Light Up the Leaves being enough to chunk me down, dealing 5 damage, effectively 7 with Waning Moon through Clov and Zerakai. It just puts me low enough that I have to start blocking. Can never put the big turn together in order to chunk him down, get his hand, take tempo, and he just out-tempos me the entire game. Peter Budin's 6th list, I think, is going to be a little bit better for that. Again, for those just joining us, the reason that I'm playing Kayo today and not Syndra is that I really want to play Peter's Battle Hardened Top 4, ProQuest Plus winning Syndra list. But he's making a deck tech for it later this week, and I don't want to spoil that for him. It's his list, he worked very hard on it, has a ton of reps, and I want to wait for him to post his list before I start playing it. Maybe discarding Fiddler's Green to gain some life. Ooh, this Beast Within is pretty good. Hey, that's even better. So we're now 1 for 1 on relevant Beast Withins this game. Peter's list is much heavier tech for Earth Heroes. Between Verdance and Florian, it is playing Rake Over the Coals, which is great. We were talking about his list in an armory that we played on Friday, where he asked me how many blues I was running. I said, oh, I have 12 in my 80, and I'm usually playing 6 at any given time. And he is like, that's so many blues. You're a crazy person. I said, how are you not running so many blues? We need Spreading Flames for the Earth matchups. And that's pretty good. Our opponent is very skilled at this game to find a blue and an ally off the top of their deck. I said, how are you not running so many, or how are you playing so many blues? And I said, how are you not? And then he shows me Rake Over the Coals. I'm like, oh, this card is insane. It's much better than Spreading Flames because it's free. It works on all of our chain links without needing to fulfill Spreading Flames' effect. It's just generally very good. He gets to go down on blues. I was extremely impressed by it. So, felt like, okay, this is what I need to be doing. His list is great. I played a version of it on Sunday, found that it worked very well. I did have some weaknesses with it. My 2 losses were based on a couple of dead draws against the Dash.io, and also then playing against Peter in round 6. Just felt like, you're gonna hook me, I need to let this connect. For one thing, my hand doesn't block very well with these 2 non-blocks. I also want to put this Blood Rush turn together, and I'm gonna need this to catch up. I have Buck Wild in Arsenal, I have Sash. Like, I am taking this damage, unfortunately. As much as I want to deny Gravy the gold, this is going to be my big turn. Yo, Rake Over the Coals, I blew Trevante out with it. He was fully prepared to, like, win the game just based on having great tempo. He was drawing very well, aggroing me down. I think you're on a similar list, Brandon, with Like, Erase Faces, the E-Strikes, Channel Mount Heroic, like playing these cards that will tempo out a Syndra player, and then rake over the coals to end the game was like, this is insane. So we've now sashed. How much damage do I want to put into Gravy before I play the Wild Ride? I think I am going to Claw. I'm not going to Claw. I think I am going to Buckwild the Gravy to start. Yeah, so Travante goes for like, I'm putting my last big turn together. He has me down to 3. I'm very killable at this point. Can I just ignore this Swabby? What if I just ignored this Swabby? Let's see how Gravy's gonna block this. Do you have anything? What are you doing? So I can send this Wild Ride for 9 and ignore. I don't think I can ignore the Swabby here. I think I need to put damage into the Swabby. The problem is going to be if Gravy finds another Conqueror. Gravy also has Chum and Oyston in graveyard. I think I need to kill the Swabby here. I don't think I'm far enough ahead that I can just ignore it. Like, this is going to take 2 cards out of Gravy's hand, and then Gravy gets to just keep sending Swabby at me. And I'm not guaranteed to convert my next hand. So we're just going to Arsenal this Wild Ride and hope that Gravy doesn't have the Conqueror. Another chart. Let's see how good our opponent is at the game. But yeah, Rake is great. I didn't test it against Verdance. The 3 Florians I played against on Sunday, like, Conqueror or Rake was always nuts. It was always 4 value at least. I was learning to get 5 and 6 value out of it. Insane card. I think that is what makes the Verdance matchup winnable at this point. But I just don't know yet. I need more Verdance testing, but the Verdance matchup used to be really good for Syndra, and then Burn Up got printed, and it was okay for Syndra, and then Light Up the Leaves got printed, and now I think it's actively disadvantaged for Syndra. Do I have any tips versus Florian as Kayo? Not yet. I'm intending to stream on Thursday. I want to play Kayo versus Florian and bring like some super unreasonable go again list with like red yellow Wild Ride, flex speed, red yellow blue Buckwild, and just see like, what if I have all of the go again? What if I can just convert every single hand offensively? Is that enough to kill Florian? Outside of like, there's the Conqueror. This hand can block the Conch. Yeah, that is unfortunate. This hand can block the Conch. The problem is it doesn't convert. I would Claw. I think I need to let the Conqueror hit. How I convert is I Claw Gravy. Pitching Buckwild, discarding Agile Windup, then pitching Strongest Survive for Show of Strength. If I block the Conch, then I am just, I guess, sending Wild Ride? I'm sending Claw? I can block like this. Gravy plays Chum. Hooks, Dead Threads, Chums for 4, makes a gold, and my line is Mandible Claw the Gravy? That seems reasonable. I don't think this hand converts well enough if I let Conqueror hit to play around the Chum. What I am thinking here is I'm okay letting Gravy have Chum, because Gravy does, oh my god. All right, my guy. If you're just gonna double conk me, okay, you got it. That's so unfortunate. Oh, okay. That's so unlikely that Gravy would put this together. I mean, what can I do about that? I still get to threaten lethal. Have I tried the no BRB list yet? Is in Kayo? Why would I do that? Is that good? You get to Oyston too. This is insane. No, I haven't tried the no BRB list because I like winning my games. Like, what is the reason to cut the reason to play KO? We get to send this claw at gravy. It does threaten lethal, so I get something out of the gravy. We are now out of conquerors at least. I know the double conk is so unlikely. It's so unreasonable to happen. Definitely punished for protecting the first against the first conqueror, but like, what can you do about that? My outs here are, I have some go again left in the deck. I also just have reckless stampedes. Another chart. So far gravy has hit on both charts. Pitch blue, discard yellow. Good lord. Can you imagine being so skilled at this game that you just always hit with your charts? Like, what if you just always played Pot of Greed? Would that be good? Do you think that would be good if you always played Pot of Greed? Loot the hold, play Sawbones, activate hook, attack with Sawbones. So this I need to let hit. Currently my line is Claw Gravy, discard Windup, run Roughshod. If I let the Sawbones hit, I get to discard Beast Within. I don't think I can block this. I think I need to play Song and Cast Bones, but why do I want to play both of those cards? Like, that's what I'm not understanding with that. Like, those are not as good as Blood Rush. Can I afford to ignore the Sawbones? Probably not, but I'm going to anyway. I'm going to Arsenal this Run Roughshod, and I'm just going to try to put lethal together on my next turn with the Might and Agility. Gravy has to give me cards here. Yeah, I don't see that Song and Cast Bones are better than Blood Rush. Blood Rush is just how Kayo puts insane turns together. 1 for 6 is way better than 0 for 4. Blood in the water. Do you have the ally? You don't, so you go to 2. If I had Reckless Swing here, that would be pretty good. We draw an all-red hand. I am going to... Oh, I won't concede the game. I'll let Gravy kill me. Okay. Yeah, we can't beat Double Conk. Like, that's insane. Hi, Alex. Double Conk is just so unlikely and so unreasonable. We can't possibly deal with that. Hey, Puffin. How am I boarding for Puffin? You are an aggro deck. We are going to play Pulpings, Erase Face, Show of Strength, Strongest Survive. What else about Sonoma? So lost to Winston on Ira, lost to Austin on Verdance, came in 9th. There were multiple ways that the breakers go better for me. The problem was, there were 2 problems. One, Winston was the pair down. So losing to the pair down means that the other X2 that did end up making top 8 did not lose to the pair down. So I'm just in a worse position now. You're sending Throttle for 6 with no go again. I am going to block for 6. I'm going to hopefully win this clash. I do not want to sink Wild Ride. Actually, I do want to sink the Wild Ride. Because I am going to discard this Agile Windup, meaning that I don't need go again, and I do want the potential for another blue. I also just maybe want to convert this hand without playing Blood Rush so that I can arsenal it for later. Uh-oh, we want to enable chat. Could always go. Vigor is like conditionally good. Oh, Thank you. Our opponent loves my content. Vigor is conditionally good because we can't pitch a blue to play Blood Rush. We have to pitch a blue to do something else first. So it's like maybe okay. We'll see. I'm really hoping to not need to play this Blood Rush, which I have, I don't need to do. So I can play Command and Conquer for 6 with Go again. I can then Rex, Mandible Claw, attack with a Vigorous Smash Up. I could play the Blood. I'd rather just set it up, right? Is there a world where I get to do this? No. I do not get to play the Strongest Survive this turn, so I'm just gonna Rex Mandible Claw. So the X2 that did make it to top 8 did not have a pair down, so his breakers were better than mine. Alternatively, if the way that matchup had gone, if the other X2 had won his game, then I would have made it to top 8 because my breakers would have been better than Narbnod's, who did make top 8 because he won. So there were multiple ways that my games could have gone, that the breakers could have gone where I get to make top 8. But again, I also could have just won my game instead of losing it to the Ira. So I'm bummed about losing to the Ira. I'm not bummed like, oh, my breakers. Like, the best way to not care about breakers is to just win. Create a golden cog, put a steam counter, do some things. I don't know, puffin stuff. Fast and Furious for 4 Go again. Am I blocking? I am going to play this Blood Rush. I could block down to guarantee that I get the Beast Within draw. That seems better. I'm not intending to sash on this Blood Rush. I don't think I need to. Dovetail attacking for 5. This is Spitfire. So you could say a block like this. You give it +1, go again, untap the Spitfire, or untap both cogs. Spitfire for 3. I might have 1 Verdance, IP4 too, 2 Burn Bears, 2 Reds. Yeah, I've heard about that. So if I let this go through, I am taking 4 more damage. All right, we'll put Scabs in front of this too. Block like this. Puffin could give Unicycle here. No, Puffin could not give Unicycle, so we're chilling. All right, block it out. I get to Blood Rush, guarantee discard Beast Within. Let's see if I can convert here. Do I get to send 3 chain links? I'm not expecting to. And in fact, I don't. I wish one of these blues was a red. I wish I had the Strongest Survive in hand. I get to Mandible Claw, pitch into Gauntlets, run Roughshod, discard Mighty Windup. Yeah, that's kind of tragic. This was not a great Blood Rush turn. Like, it was never going to be a great Blood Rush turn, but it could definitely have been better than this Blood Rush turn. Do Gauntlet, attack with Run Roughshod. Like, it was a 3-card 13. Like, this is definitely above rate. 3-card 14 even, 15 with the, like, multiple ways that this was fine. But it could have been a lot better if we... Yes, you need to let the damage happen before you break balance. We'll discard Mighty Windup, make a second Might. Like, this was fine. We just wish we had a red here for the Blood Rush instead. This hand is okay. The ProQuest Plus I played against Tao Tao on Mario and drew 3 reds, 2 D reactions, some combination of Light of the Leaves 3 times. Tao Tao's just built different, you know? You think that you're gonna draw better against Tao Tao, and then he just, like, he's the embodiment of Imposing Visage. The man is inscrutable. You never know what Tao Tao's thinking. Cogworks Dovetail for 5. You have all of your cogs. What am I doing this turn? I think I am just setting up. So I'm going to arsenal this Wild Ride, meaning that I'm going to just pitch to play Strongest Survive. So I can block with Vigorous Smash up here and just fix the top of my deck for my next turn. I don't get to use the Vigor. Do I want to sink Smashing Ground? No, I want the blue. We tie. Oh, because it was 6. All right, we're chilling. Yep, you're going to do 6, 7. I assume. Oh, because you can't. You could tap a cog. Okay, that's how you gave it go again. I see. And then you'll untap all your cogs. Taking some damage. Yeah, I did manage to beat Tao Tao in the Battle Hardened at like 23 life. Like, Tao Tao did not draw well that game. And I happened to have a few really good hands after he disrupted me. So he went for his defense reaction to Mark, Mask of Deceit to find Black Widow, into Kiss of Death with Tarantula Toxin backup. And my hand was just so good on 2 cards with 1 in Arsenal that I no-blocked everything. He got stuck with the Tarantula Toxin and then died. You get to do the thing to destroy a defending card. Must defend this with an equipment they control if able. I am going to give you, I guess, leathers? I think giving leathers here is better than giving you flesh bag. I don't know if Puffin is running T-Bone for me to say, like, do I get... We're going to give you flesh bag. I don't know if Puffin is playing T-Bone. So I'm going to keep my leathers just to play around a potential T-Bone. Yeah, do the Palantir. I'm taking 9 here. We go to 25 each. I get to send Strongest Survive for 9, which you have to care about. What's the sauce for Florian to fight Syndra? You're going to have to ask. Say no clocks into an assassin. Yeah, no kidding. You're going to... Moxie, you need to ask Narbnod, because I thought that Syndra was like guaranteed into Florian, and then the list that he cooked actually put me to 3, to a point where, like, if Channel Mount Heroic comes down, or if my opponent finds Erase Face at all, I just die. Based on my experience, cry, no, you beat one. You did the thing, you had the out. Being able to no-block an assassin does feel really good. Like, my hand was Ignite, Blaze Headlong. I had a 1-for-5 in Arsenal with Fealty up, Mask of Momentum, and then 2 cards that don't matter. I'm like, yeah, Kiss of Death can banish a card, and I'll banish 1 to the Flick Knives. Like, that's fine. Show me the Cogwork Zeppelin. Peter's just built different. Anna's extremely skilled at the game. Cogworks Cog, I have 2 blues. I think this is probably a Sash turn. I think I need to claw this Polycranka. Fast and Furious for 4 go again. That's fine. I'm intending to no-block all of this. Another Cog. Zeppelin does some nonsense. I don't know. Okay, so you're gonna hit me for 8 and then make a golden cog that you get to cheat the resource and then Spitfire me, so I'm taking 11 this turn. That's pretty good. You will see what happens. So I go to 10. I have to kill Polycranka, which sucks. Make the cog, crank it, get the action point, Spitfire. Oh, you're out of cogs. Okay, cool. Let me take 2. I don't need to give Tyrannical Rex here. Send disruption every turn to keep Syndra off a 4 or 5 card hand. I agree. This gives you space to resolve your failings. You can typically win if you resolve your failings. It's true. See Felling, play Felling. Still waiting for the day. A ranger hits Fang with melting point and he loses a dagger. I'm waiting for if a ranger does well in an event with melting point. You know what? I'll give it to him. That's pretty good. That's something. Okay. So I get to send 5 at Puffin. I get to send 3 at Polly. I get to Tyrannical Rex, Bear Fangs, Puffin, and hope that my draw discard is good. Sashing here gave me a card, but it is like, this turn was fine. Maybe I was supposed to get greedy and roll scabs there. If I get to play run roughshod here, that's pretty good. I don't know that this was the sash turn. I might have gotten greedy there, or maybe I was supposed to block 3. Like, I don't mind having a card for Arsenal. Not that run roughshod is the best card for my Arsenal. But there are lines with it. It's just that I need to discard on my turn, so it can be awkward. And then Puffin has the 4-card hand with 2 cogs. Like, I don't foresee this going well. That's okay. That's pretty good. I do need to survive the turn, but that's pretty good. I don't know that Puffin has any on hits I super need to care about. I am going to block with Rex here and just hope that I don't need to respect anything that Puffin does. Palantir for 9 gets to destroy a defending card. That's really bad. Yeah, I don't have the life to keep the Blood Rush. Because I block for 4. Puffin goes Cog, Cog, Unicycle, Cog. Brings Palantir up to 9. Destroys my Smash Instinct. Does exactly 8 damage and I die. Meaning that I need to block for 7. My hand doesn't do anything. So we go block, block. Yeah, this is bad. I'm gonna lose this game. I'm going to get out aggroed. And the sash there doesn't matter. If this is anything that isn't Palantir, I think I can get there. I think I get to keep enough cards. I guess Dovetail also kills me. Yeah, this is not it. And then I just die. We'll let the Puffin kill me, but I am not going to get to live through this next turn. I mean, maybe the Puffin just bricks. I don't know. We'll see. The fact that they're blocking for 6 here when they literally don't need to makes me feel like maybe their hand is just bricked. 2 Sky Scanners with no cogs is... We're going to find out. Zeppelin for 6 means that I get to do... block... Definitely give this. So I could block for 6, send Pulping, run Roughshod for a total of 11, assuming that the top of my deck is a non-attack, or is an attack action. Could also go block, block. potentially claw here as well and go to 1 in order to keep 3 damage. I think we will do that and see what happens. I've seen 1 beast within. I mean, this is spooky. I think I gotta risk it for the biscuit. We don't... Okay, that's where this plan falls apart, is I don't get to claw here. I don't have the blue, so I was supposed to block with a show of strength instead of the smash instinct, so that I could have clawed here as well. Okay, run roughshod, that's fine. You undid your block, I pass through. This puts you to 2. I need cards that block. Hey, some of these cards block. 6 go again, meaning that this is a 4. So I die. Yep, there it is. It was rough. Yeah, we just got outvalued by the puffin. It's pretty good. I had a Florian list, going all 3/4 blocks using Tunic, full block most cards until you get good disruption and hold them, and every 3rd turn use the sword. You can block out all the damage. Chant this next time I lose my winning in and need to rally for 2 more rounds. Hasn't been easy, Syndra is so brain dead. Hey now, Syndra has some skill involved. There's some skill expression. Against Dorinthia. I do have a board for this. Yep, leaving out Challenge the Alpha, Erase Face, which doesn't matter, the non-blocks. Boarding in Cast Bone so that I can hopefully just put an entire hand in front of the Dawnblade, reset it, and then play Cast Bones. Moxie, I don't think Tunic is correct. Narbnod made a really good point that I really liked, which is at any time that you are attacking with the sword, or like grasp swording, you are losing the game. Because Syndra has Claw and Sarakai. I think Barkskin is just too much value to not play. This hand is really good if I get to just keep it. Dory choose to go first? That's wild. If I get to keep this hand, it's really good. I just go Buckwild, Castbones, Arsenal, Wild Ride. It doesn't mean that I'm not blocking here. If Dory attacks with the Dawnblade, I will just put 8 in front of it. Which looks like is going to happen. Dawnblade for 7. Do I want to sync Agile Windup? No. Do you have the attack react? No. To block out the Dawnblade, I get to send Wild Ride. Into Claw Strongest Survive is pretty good. There's some skill expression in Syndra. You don't just put your hand on the table every turn, you kind of do. We love Go Again Castbones someday. Someday I'll get to do it. Yeah, Go Again, like Buckwild Castbones is such a good line that Kayo just didn't have before. Buckwild is absolutely the MVP this time around. Block with the spoils that we just saw. I get to attack with Mandible Claw for 3. Dory hates fun. I know Dory hates fun. There were so many Dories at the ProQuest this week, or at the Battle Hardened this last weekend. There were like 6 Dories, and they were all Dawnblade. 1 made the top 8, 2 made the top 10, and I don't, like, I get that they, I guess, have a good Gravy matchup, and, like, can have a good Syndra matchup, but I thought there would be more spice than what I saw, which is just, like, it's Dory. It's the same Dawnblade Dory that they've all been playing, like, I guess. Yeah, that seems reasonable. I was just expecting, like, more. I did play against one Dawnblade Dory who just kind of didn't have it ever. Like, never drew the Glistening Steel Blade plus anything relevant. Whose deck is this? This is, it's not yours, Wyatt. This one, top 8'd a calling, which I would say is better than top 8'ing a battle hardened. Dawnblade for 3, go again. Deal. I'm going to Wild Ride and hope to discard this Beast Within. Yeah, this is the Shizuoka top 8. We just lost to a Puffin, so like maybe this deck, isn't it? No, Puffin's legit. Oh, no Beast Within. No Beast Within one time. I do get to Claw Swing Big, or Gauntlet Swing Big, which is pretty cool. Have my Might. The old 4-card 16. Coming in now, when you see that camera shake, it's because Bun just jumped up onto the desk. He was such a little trooper this weekend. Both me and my partner were away from home, and he and his sister were so good. They were so brave this whole weekend. It's funny because we have the 2 cats. We have the gray one, Marley Muffin. If you watched my spoiler video, she was the one shredding Tough Nut. And then we have Cinnamon Bunsworth Cooper, our little orange boy, who was the star of the show. And Marley Muffin is totally independent. She'll like come out of her closet after sleeping for 12 hours, get some pets, eat some food, go back into the closet. Bun has separation anxiety if we are in a separate room of the house. So if he's like, him just surviving a weekend on his own is like, what a good job. Good job, Bunny. I was ready for the Verdance Mirror and didn't play it once this weekend. It was so off meta this weekend, which is cool. Like, that's really good. For the overall health of the meta, like, it's cool that people are experimenting, but it was just weird. It was weird to see so many off meta decks. Steelblade Supremacy. This one feels like a fleshbag turn. Hi, Nick. Feels like, how did you do this weekend, Nick? I know you were on Prism. This feels like, okay, Warrior's Valor. This is now definitely a fleshbag turn. This could be the attack reaction. It's been here for a while. What I could do to just totally blank this is go Intimidate this away. This, trying to decide how to play around this. If this is Blade Flurry, then I get got. If I block 8 with no cards from hand. If this is Iron Song Response, then I get them. The safer play is just to put Swing Big in front of this too. Intimidate this card away. My turn is play Show of Strength, Arsenal, Wild Ride. I could block like this. Hedge on this. Now this line is just bad. We're going to cash in all the equipment. We're going to play around both Blade Flurry and Iron Song Response. Just blank this turn. We're going to send Show of Strength, which we want to send instead of Swing Big, because Dory cannot turn off the Show of Strength, but she can benefit from the Swing Big. If she just puts 9 in front of it, gets a Quicken, pitches a blue, attacks with Dawnblade with Go Again, I have to block the Dawnblade or else she gets to put a counter. They don't got it, full send. This hand doesn't even full send that well. Like, it's fine. It's just a blue and 3 reds is not where I want to be. Yeah, I could sash, but I'll just set up the 5-card Wild Ride. Like, this is the turn that I can say, yeah, no blocks. Dory doesn't have CNC. Just left after R4 and went home, played Final Fantasy XI. That's a good line. Okay, here we get to sash, Wild Ride from hand, pitch a blue, Wild Ride from Arsenal. Yeah, this is where we say, okay, Dory, you are allowed to have a counter. I accept. This is agreeable. We'll take 8 damage, go to 29 to send 11, 14, 20 damage maybe. If we can put a CNC on that, we feel great too. All right, Savage Sash, Wild Ride. This hand is pretty cool. There's no world where we block 3 there. We're full sending. This is 100% Iron Song response. It's not a D-React or she would have played it. It's not Blade Flurry or she would have played it. This is absolutely Iron Song response. We're going to send 5 into 6 into 5 Arsenal. Hopefully just discard whatever this is. And it's an attack action. And then we get to Claw, Rex, CNC. Yeah, we're the greatest Flesh and Blood players in the world. I went 3-3-1 in the Battle Hardened and 2-2-1 in the Pro Quest. Takeaway is that I got to get better at playing more than 3 games in a row. It's so true. I was talking about that with my buddy Trevante. Like, an Armory doesn't prep you for a full day event, and it definitely doesn't prep you for 2 full day events. Like, it doesn't prep you for Battle Hardened Pro Quest. It doesn't prep you for a calling and then calling day 2. Like, what was the top 8 in the Pro Quest? It was Dory, Kayo, 2 Syndras, 2 Verdances, Arachne Huntsman, and a Florian. I think. It might have been 1 Syndra? Yeah, it was 1 Syndra. There were definitely 2 Verdances, 1 Florian. Was it like 3 KOs? I don't even know if it was that many KOs. Let's see. Imagine having access to the internet and then not using it. Fab TCG, events, deck lists, Battle Hardened Sonoma. It was Dory, Verdance, KO, Syndra, Florian, Huntsman. It was 3 Verdances. That's what the 3 of was. Oh, it was Puncture. Damn, Wyatt, you're so good. Imagine having the double top 8 KO in your chat and not listening to them. Imagine getting to Buckwild Cast Bones. Is there a world where I just take 8 damage, let Dory get a counter, Buckwild for lethal into Cast Bones, Arsenal CNC? Like, there is this line that just gets the reaction from Dory. There is this line that just says Dory absolutely can't kill me with 4 cards from 20. Yeah, I'm going to say that Dory doesn't have it. I'm going to say that Dory can't have. Okay. This puts me to 20. This puts me to 17. Hi, Ian. Give her a counter as a treat. She already has a counter. Now she has 2 counters. I mean, I guess there's a world where I do this, like, this, Cast Bones, Arsenal, Buckwild. She has a 4-card hand and can't kill me from 23. Playing Helm of the Sharp Eye, they need help, reopen the schools. Needs more Scabskin rolls? I will never. You couldn't pay me enough. That's why I play Syndra instead of Kayo now. Because they just go again. 16 with 2 counters on a 4-card hand. Buckwild comes in for 8. You could give me Blood Splat, or Bracers. This is extremely tempting, and I think this is the right play. And just say you can't get there with a 4-card hand when I'm at 23, and I just rip 6 off the top. The top of my deck is a Smashing Ground and a blue Buckwild. So I get to send Smashing Ground and blue Buckwild. So I get to send Assault and Battery, Pitch Windup, discard Beast Within, draw another blue, Claw, Buckwild. That is 11, 14, 21. Or I get to Smashing Ground for 11. It's 21 either way, but one of these I don't take damage. We snap, no blocks. Do you have to go again? There's no world in which I am blocking this Dawnblade. Do I get to work Rex into this turn somehow? I guess I do, because I find the blue. So it's play, pitch, discard, draw a blue, Buckwild, Mandible Claw. This gets me one more point. Not that I need it. Helm of Sharp Eye, we're so up. They find the route. We're so good at this game for not blocking this. Can you imagine if I blocked ever? This is a blue. I guess a yellow. You just route me, push some damage. Come in for 10 plus 4, so this takes me to 9. Cool. Gigs. GG's. Okay, excuse me. Have another counter as a treat. In the words of professional Flesh and Blood caster Ian Holland. Look, my gold foil isn't worth it. I can't believe you still have it. I thought you would have sold it to someone. I don't know who would buy a gold foil Helm of Sharp Eye, but I thought for sure. Easy game. Always. When you're playing with Daily Fab Gameplay, Andrew, John, Lupinefiasco, Cooper, every game is easy. Except for the ones where we lost. And that's because we got unlucky. Our opponents are Michael Hamilton or Brody Spurlock. Like, it's never my fault. If I lose a game, it is never my fault. It could never be my fault. So for like 100 to min-max, honestly, that's probably the best you were going to get from it. You would have to try very hard. You're going to 6? You're going to 5? I get to send 11 more damage, so this should just win the game. I guess I could have sat on the Buckwild. Done the Mandible Claw first so that my opponent doesn't know that I have 7 in my arsenal. I did discard a 6, so Claw is online. Not that it super matters, but if I'm trying to withhold information, our opponent's always luck sack and we always play correctly. It's true. Rolling Scabskins is never correct. And if I lost because I didn't have action points, that's just because I got unlucky and didn't draw my Wild Ride. There was no way for me to generate action points on my turn. Blocking for 3, deal. Is that a D-react? Seems unlikely. How do you feel about the LL bans yesterday? I have not started working on LL yet, so I'm not super impacted yet, but my plan had been to... That's pretty good. My plan had been to learn Runeblade and have Ira as a backup. And now several of the Runeblades are unplayable. And get out of here, Wyatt. Fine, I'll play the Kayo mirror. You're in my chat. Fine, I'll play the Kayo mirror. How do I even board for this? I guess Buckwild is good. Show of Strength, we're not playing Strongest Survive because you get to just armor, show from hand, not discard. Erase Face does literally nothing. Reckless Stampede is a toss-up. Yeah, we'll just send it. You have thoughts on the bans? Yeah, Ian, I'm really excited to hear what you have to say about the bans. Ian Holland is my LL hookup. He knows what's going on. So yeah, I'm very curious to see what he has to say. That is unfortunate. I think I'm just arsenaling passing and keeping a 5-card hand. We needed a blue here and I would have just sent. card Agile wind up? Deal. I will push some damage here. Deal. Those bands look great from the prison perspective. You're so right. Blood Rush. Alright. The car alarm from outside. I will mute myself. Oh, there it goes. What do we have going on here? It seems like it's probably a fleshbag turn. Just to deny some value from my opponent. Smash Up does nothing. Oh, we get a full sash. 10, go again. Give you my own sash. Intimidate one of these cards away. If you're playing around it, this is probably also like a 1 for 10. I'm going to take a bunch of damage. I will block with the fleshbag. I don't need to block with anything else. Pulping for 8. This I will block with Smash Instinct. This is fine. I get to send Challenge the Alpha for 9. Arsenal Blood Rush. I still have my sash. I'm just beginning to dive into LL for Worlds myself, so I'd love to hear more thoughts on it from anyone who knows. Ian, we can absolutely put another episode together. Another interview, talk about the LL bands and what they mean. Okay, Wyatt. I mean, if that's the way this game is, you're gonna stream snipe me so that you can win the die roll and then double blood rush me? Seems good. I guess that's something that you're allowed to do. Currently working on my post-ban decks. You've got to be like up tremendous here, Ian, just because you already liked Viscerai, and he seems like he comes out the top here, just based on already being a deck that played Warmongers. Break my sash. I get to... If I am anticipating getting fleshbagged here, I am going to play my Wild Ride. This hand now does pulping. Unlucky. Jesus. That is not ideal. No, this is 100% luck sacking. What does this hand do? This hand does, I suppose, block? Claw for 3. We will say no blocks. Bear Fangs for 8. We say block, go to 1. Attack with Beast Within, lose the game. Hey, we're so good at this game. So you reveal a Strongest Survive, which you sank. I have a Beast Within on top of my deck. Reckless Stampede for 8. I get to go block, 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 block. Try to win 4 consecutive clashes. That's 1. How's this game going for you, Wyatt? How do you feel about this? Okay. Yep. No, I'm fine leaving that on top, honestly. Okay. Yeah, I'm super happy to leave that on top, Wyatt. Thank you. Honestly, I mean, we never didn't have it. Truly never didn't have it. Imagine losing clashes. Imagine losing, it could never be me. Is there a world where I don't have to just block out here? There is not. Bank a Quicken that I don't get to use? Get 2 cards from our opponent? I think that needs to be a YouTube short. I know, I have to figure out how to do it. That's definitely one that we put up on the channel. There, I rolled Scabs. No one can say that I have never rolled Scabs. Give our opponent the GG here. Wow. Imagine losing that game. Imagine this being your opening hands and then losing that game of Flesh and Blood. Could you, it honestly could never be me. Could never in a million years be Andrew John Lupinefiasco Cooper. Stampede was amazing. That Stampede got us in the game. That was the dumbest game. You wanted it. You queued into it. Gosh, what do I do against Levia? Besides die. This is the dumbest game. Skill issued. 100% skill issued. Challenge the Alpha, Pulping. I guess Buckwild. And Show of Strength? Got sniped. Sick opener. Good. At least there's that. Our opponent doesn't just murder us with our 2 non-block hand. Claw coming for 3. Let's give you a Show of Strength. Please don't have anything else to do. Go build RKO. Fair, honestly. This hand is still not great, so we're just gonna Bear Fangs here. If I draw a blue, then yikes. I'm super sad. Damn. Imagine not sending Wild Ride there. Imagine just taking a bunch of damage and then IPing 3. The reason I did that was I was not confident that I was going to draw something that isn't just Wild Ride Claw. So I wanted to tuck Go Again into Arsenal so that I at least have something to do on this turn. Claw for 5. Is this a hand where I need to cash in Flesh Bag? I don't think so. I do want this to be a Sash turn because I get to go Buckwild, Pulping, Wild Ride. Like, this could easily be a very large turn. So I will want to block with Sash at some point. It doesn't have to be now. It's possible I'm supposed to Flesh Bag. I just find that in Brute Mirrors, whoever Flesh Bags first loses. If my opponent has 1 blue in hand and I get it, then yeah, I'm super ahead. But it seems likely that will not be the case. So I'd rather wait for the Flesh Bag when I know that I'm gonna get them somehow. Swing big for 10. We will block with the Sash. I can go to 21 here. I will pop the Sash. Start with probably... I don't think Levias are playing defense reactions, so I think I can Pulping here. Well, especially now that they don't have a card for their arsenal, I am definitely going to pulping here. Break my own sash. So now I get to Wild Ride, Run Roughshod, Arsenal Buckwild. Like, this is fine. The flesh bag here kind of gets us, but we still get to go 3 chain links wide. We did 7, 13, 18 damage and made a might. We get to Arsenal more go again. I still have my flesh bag. This hand would be really good with Sash. Draw a card, then discard a random card. With 6 or more, you banish a card from graveyard. This does have go again. What am I doing with this hand? This hand is just Buckwild, Rex, Bearfangs. I will flesh bag you here so that your follow-up to this is just Claw. Do I need to start cashing in armor? I don't think so. Otherwise, this hand just goes Buckwild, Buckwild, Arsenal, Bearfangs, which is not only less damage, but takes me off of go again. I'll give leathers here just to start using armor. At this point, I assume Levias are still on the demi-hero, so she does need to start respecting this damage. That can take her below, or take her to 13. We get armor. I get to hopefully send 9 damage, which I do. Levias could block with the leathers again, so this is, just, you know, potentially negating the value that I gain from Rex. But if that means she's using the armor now, it means she's not using it later. So I'm fine doing this. Via here, potentially taking 4, getting a might. I suspect we're gonna get another card from hand so that she stays above 13. She has enough blood that she can flip. But if I'm getting 2 cards here, I'm still holding a Buckwild. I have armor, I'm at 16, I feel fine. I am assuming that she's going to flip. Her blood debt is like non-existent currently. It's this Mark of the Beast. So her flipping isn't even good. Claw for 4. My turn is going to be Buckwild for 7 go again. Pitch Beast Within for CNC. Discard Agile Windup to set up for the next turn. I'm just not blocking here. She's going to flip into Demi-Hero, which is fine. I get to do a bunch of damage. And for one thing, threaten lethal. For another, threaten the arsenal. So I can get 2 pieces of armor. Levias goes to 1. I discard this Agile Windup to have might and agility for the next turn. I still have 3 points of armor that I can block with if Levias doesn't break the chain. Challenge the Alpha here is potentially very good. Do a bunch of stuff. 6 go again. You don't have the resources for Mark of the Beast. Here is where I will start blocking. My intention is challenge the Alpha Wild Ride with a Rex attached to it. Graveling Growl for 6, that's fine. I go to 3. I'm out of Reckless Swing range. I guess I'm technically not out of Challenge the Alpha Reckless Swing range. That's kind of funny. If that's what kills me, oh my god, you're not a brute. Oh, alright. Well then I guess I don't die. You are a Shadow Demi-Hero Demon. That's interesting. I did not know that that was going to be a thing. I don't think that changes my line. This will put you to 4, or I get the armor. If you block with armor, this comes in for 7. You make a might. So this will get a card. The most you should be able to do to me is Claw. End the turn. Pulping here is pretty good. For 7, so I can block, stay out of reckless range. And if you don't have the D-react, you die. Or I guess you die anyway. It would have to be... I think it's lit. I don't think I can lose from this position, so we should just get there. Pulping too good. Just had a constant stream of go again, which felt very nice. But we will see. I mean, I haven't played against a Leviathan since Nom, so we're gonna see if she has anything that I'm not expecting. Maybe there's something that kills me here, or maybe there's something that lets her survive. Hello, Lupinefiasco. For what matchups are beaten trackers on the list? They are for... You could probably run them into Prism, but I don't think Kayo should have trouble into Prism because we have so many poppers for Triumph, and then other poppers in general. They're mostly there for Kano, because you need to go fast against Kano. And so you're playing AB3, AB2 in the head, AB1 in the arms. The guaranteed go again from trackers is just going to be better than rolling scabs. It'll be more consistent. You don't need the block value on scabs. But yeah, they are for exactly Kano and, like, I guess Prism. Get there against Leviah. Do good game. We're getting outvalued quite a bit. I mean, that's always been Leviah's thing. I need to be right back. A little bio break for your boy. So I'm going to give you an ad break and then I will be right back. Hello, it me, playing more Kayo Flesh and Blood. Let me give you all a little shout out. Let's run through a little gambit here. Hamel. Hopefully these work. Dorinthia, we will go second. Dory. There we go. And then let's give you the new one. This is the data command because I am now sponsored by Fablazing data. Really cool service. I really appreciate them. I don't play enough Flesh and Blood to have anecdotal evidence for every hero and every bad matchup. Fablazing fills the gaps by telling me what people are doing in their callings and their battle hardens, statistical information for all of the different matchups. It's just really helpful to have. Am I giving armor here? Probably not. I don't think I'm giving armor here. The determination is really good, so we're not gonna give armor. Jagged edge, sure. I think I give armor here. Oh, you just didn't have go again. Okay, great. Anyway, Fablazing data, really helpful website. Love their statistical breakdowns of the different matchups, card choices, armor choices in every matchup. It's just really helpful to have that information at my fingertips because I am not playing enough Flesh and Blood to get all of that anecdotal evidence. So I'm going to start incorporating Fablazing into my gameplay reviews when I'm talking about, like, why am I practicing specific matchups. Usually it's going to be matchups that I'm either not familiar with, and so I need to shore it up, or my bad matchups, and I'll tell you, hey, if I'm practicing Gravy into Florian, it's because Fablazing said that Florian has a 70-80% win rate into KO, and I just need to get reps on it. Fablazing data, thank you for sponsoring Daily Fab Gameplay. Super good website, really, really appreciate your content. Do I also consider Tunic? I do not consider Tunic in KO. I don't think that there's a single matchup where I'm not getting too much value out of Savage Sash. What does this hand do besides be not great? Is Buckwild, Rex Claw, and then Arsenal's red Buckwild and sets up? It seems fine. Do I think KO is a good choice for ProQuest season? I think so. I would not be embarrassed to bring KO to one of my armories. This might just be a time where I'm supposed to cash in some armor. Like, this is just giving Dory a counter if I say no blocks, and I'm counting on resetting the Dawnblade later. I think that might be okay. I'm assuming Dory's going to do some blocking. I'll have all of my armor plus cards in hand. To reset the Dawnblade, I'll get to use Savage Sash the following turn with this Buckwild. This seems reasonable. I'm just not going to play into the Reprise or that Jagged Edge. Do I think Dory is a good choice for KO is a good choice for Proco season? I think he is fine. I think in general, Syndra is the stronger aggro deck. I think KO does not have a significantly better matchup spread than Syndra for me to say, if you are equally skilled at both KO and Syndra, that you should not play Syndra. You should just play Syndra. But if you don't like Ninja, you have KO built, but you don't have Syndra built, you just like either don't like Ninja or you love Brute, I think KO is a very reasonable choice. The ProQuest Plus in Sonoma this last weekend had 4 KOs in the top 8. Wyatt Schmidt, Florple in chat, who we just absolutely dumpstered on stream. Shout out to Wyatt, love you. Top 8'd both events. This is awkward. This was not the hand that I was looking for to reset. What does this hand do? We can block with Cast Bones. Yeah, this hand is like extremely awkward. I don't feel like I can reliably reset the Dawnblade. I block with Flesh Bag, I take this away. I now need to play around whatever this is. What if I give all of my equipment? If this is anything that gives plus power, we're in a bad spot. If it's anything that gives plus power without Reprise, we're in a bad spot. If it's anything that counts on Reprise, how can I play around that? What if I do this? I'm blocking 11. The fact that Dory has 2 resources available is rough. If this is Route, we're screwed. If this is Singing Steelblade, we're screwed. A block like this to like really be certain that we're resetting the Dawnblade. Could be puncture. Yeah, we've seen no punctures. We've seen 2 jagged edges. If it's jagged edge or puncture, this plays around that. It doesn't play around Iron Song Response or Route. We could give the Blood Rush and then just send Buckwild and Arsenal Wild Ride and look for our next big turn. We could say no blocks, but that just doesn't. The cast bones here makes this awkward. If this was like a blue, I'm probably just putting Fleshbag in front and saying we're gonna go. As it is, I think I am going to aggressively reset the Dawnblade and Arsenal the Wild Ride. I guess I could. The last story we played on stream was playing Route, which is why I'm thinking about it. We also play the Wild Ride, make a Might, and keep the Buck Wild. It seems reasonable. Just make a Might. We float the resource. That's fine. We're getting 7 value either way. I just keep the consistent go again in my arsenal instead. Take it on the chin. This story has our number like every turn. See what we find. This hand is okay. Here we are converting our hand into life total, or what are we doing here? I'm gonna play Wild Ride, pitch this. If I get to draw discard, if I discard one of these reds and draw blue, then my hand is really good. If I draw into a red, like if I discard Swing Big and draw another red, that isn't great. This might be a Buckwild Swing Big. This could be the Sash turn. Break Sash, Wild Ride, pitch, float 2 resources, have the Buckwild. Yeah, that seems reasonable. I'm gonna Sash here. Dory does some stuff. Put in context. Okay. Let's break our Sash. Send the Wild Ride. I would like to draw another blue. I did draw another blue, and then I discarded it. So that's unfortunate. What I am now going to do, considering that Dory is interested in not blocking, also that she just blocked for 4, I am going to pitch into Rex and then Strongest Survive. Force Dory to either give me armor or cards from hand, and then hold on to the Buckwild. If we have the blue there, our turn is really good. So we had 1 resource. We had 2 resources floating. If I have the blue, I get to Buckwild and then do this line. That is the nature of the beast. This hand... 8, go again. Ugh. This Dory is like consistently just getting us. What does this hand do? This hand does Buckwild Rex CNC for 15. And doesn't the Wild Ride at them on the BRB turn? I did not have a BRB turn because my hand had cast bones in it. I would have had to let the Dory... Would have been an awkward... I either would have blocked with the cast bones and all of my armor and hope the Dory doesn't have it, and then pitch blue, BRB discard my Wild Ride, or I would have not had a BRB turn. Like there was no BRB because of the cast bones. Oh, for the gravy. You think I remember that game? That was like forever ago. I can block 12 here, and if this is Iron Song Response, then I get, if this is Singing Steelblade, then I just lose the game. I think we're too far behind at this point. The Dory has just had Take It on the Chins and so many Warriors Valors that I just have consistently been... The fact that she's consistently been getting 2 Dawnblades every turn is like too much for me to deal with. Excuse me, my sweet son. Honey, my sweet little boy is standing in the way of the screen. I think I'm just gonna hard commit to blocking here and like hope that we can find a turn where Dory doesn't convert. I just need her to not have go again one time. Alright, we found Blood Rush, Beast Within. She found Singing Steelblade. This is spooky. I need to just take damage here. Like, this is my pivot turn. I think. Keep blocking 12 until they give up. You're so right. Beat of the Iron Song gives it go again. Like, I think I just need to let Dory keep hitting here. This is the turn that we need to try to do something. Dauntless into Dawnblade, coming in for 9. Yep, I gotta just take it. I think we've lost this game. I think the fact that for 6 turns Dory has had, at least as outside of her turn 0, the fact that Dory has had go again 5 turns in a row is like too much for me to get through. But we'll see. Maybe we can get there with the Blood Rush. Not if we're discarding Wild Ride. Okay. We found our go again to then... We found our go again. We discarded Beast Within. So we are getting to send Wild Ride for 8 go again, and we'll push 6 over. We now get to send Buck Wild for 9 go again, and then we get to send Strongest Survive. God, this Dory is like so teched for Kayo. Playing Hold the Line? Good lord. I have never seen a Dory so teched for KO. Which I don't know if... I mean, maybe that's what she's targeting, but I feel like KO is not the deck for Dory to target. Yes, he has some non-blocks, Wild Rides, Bare Fangs, Pulpings, potentially, which I'm not playing in this matchup, but he has so much armor. Strongest Survive connects. We are going to get a card out of Dory, but she has 2 Vigor and 2 cards left in hand. I don't think we're getting there. And we do have the Cast Bones, so I get to say block, block, block. Blocking for 8 total. How does Dory get me? If you Iron Saw, if you Singing Steelblade, you float 2. I don't believe she has a 1 for 4 that gets her over the top. I think we can do this. Singing Steelblade. You're the 1 floating. So if it's... Oh, Singing Steelblade into... Okay, double Singing Steelblade is enough to get her there. Into Jagged Edge. Yep, puts me to 3. Break the Boots. I can live through the turn. I wonder if there's a world where this is our block. We go to 1 and we play the cat. I think that's the line. Because we are not resetting the Dawnblade this turn. I just need to hope that the next hand doesn't convert. Play the Cast Bones. If I can keep a card for Claw, maybe that gets us in. Oh my god, my sweet boy is sitting right in front of the screen. This Bare Fangs is going to be... Okay. She's just going to get there. You can block 9. Do you have a reaction? This will cheat the resource because you draw a card. Yeah. I don't think I can win that game. The fact that she had go again for 7 consecutive turns is like, okay. Yep, deal. If that's what it takes for you to beat me, like, I can't stop you from doing that. Hey, it's a real matchup that I really want to play. So this one is tough. Verdance is absolutely, if not the best deck in the format, probably top 2 between her and Gravy. So we're not playing Strongest Survive. Potentially we should be. But she has enough D-reacts and enough attack that I don't think this is getting her most of the time. I am playing Show of Strength because 2 for 8 that she can't really turn off. Reckless Stampede is going to win every clash with her. We're playing Buck Wild for the go again because we aren't playing Pulping. So we are going to... Actually, like, this is the first game I'm excited about because it's the first real hero that we've played today. So let's see. She's choosing to go first. That makes sense because she gets to do Burn Bear. I am going to hold on to my Blood Rush and my Buck Wild. I guess I could hold on to my Wild Ride instead of the Buck Wild. That seems better. Prevent this, and then we will pitch 2 into Moon. If she goes for it, she does not, which makes this hand much worse. All right, we find... I think I need to go over the top. I need to try to high roll her. So we're going to go Buck Wild into Claw and Arsenal the Blood Rush, as opposed to sending the 4-card Blood Rush here. Sending 10 damage off 3 cards, Arsenaling Blood Rush, hoping that she doesn't have Plow at this point. Currently cannot Decompose. Get a Felling on defense is good. That makes me wonder what her hand is going to be. Yes, she's filling the graveyard. It could just be second Felling. Not blocking this. Yep, does put 3 Earth in discard for Decompose. Cadaverous Tilling. So this is interesting. I do want to block with the Assault and Battery. I could also block with one of my 2s to guarantee that I am going to get the Beast Within trigger on the Blood Rush Bellow, and I think that's right. Alternatively, I could discard this Agile Windup on her turn to get the Agility, so that I'm guaranteed to get a bigger Blood Rush. I think that's what I need to do. Again, I need to be high rolling the Verdance here. So we'll see if the Sash Blood Rush with Blood Rush Beast Within with Agility is enough to get over the top of whatever she's doing. Stonewall Gauntlet blocks for 2 here, but I get to break the chain at any point, so it won't have a lasting effect. Buck Wild is a good start. So I get to Buck Wild Claw Bear Fangs. Or I can Bear Fangs first. I don't like that, as it doesn't let me go any wider than I could have already gone, and there is a chance that I discard my Buck Wild and draw something worse. So I am going to send the Buck Wild first, waste my Agility, but pitch deck Blood Rush, you'll totally get there. I know, anytime you like pitch a Blood Rush in this matchup, it's like it's just gone. You might as well have blocked with it. Mental Block is going to prevent the 8 total. You get a Ponder. So I'm expecting that this is like Felling. This is the blue, or Burn Bear, or Light Up the Leaves. Bun, what are you doing? Why are you freaking out? Yeah, come here. Come sit in Papa's lap. But, no, I do not want to break the combat chain. I want to play this Bear Fangs. So if Verdance wants to fire back with the 2-card 8, it is going to cost her. I mean, we are significantly up on life now. Yep, there's the Felling coming in for 8. We are going to bottom, I don't know, Agile Windup, I guess? Just send a Bear Fangs. I could bottom a Strongest Survive. Now that just doesn't seem good. Hello. Hello, my needy little boy. Thanks for the Dory game. Nils, that was nuts. Like, I was telling chat, just 7 consecutive turns of go again. Like, I cannot win that game. We can definitely bottom the Strongest Survive. The question is, how am I blocking this? Am I setting up might agility? Am I setting up agility because I will have a might? I think so. I think I am just trying to high roll the Dory or high roll the Verdance here, which means that I need the agility. So we are going to Bare Fangs, pitch, respond, make our might agility, and then hopefully we're attacking for 8. I'm intentionally not leaving an arsenal because I'm playing around CNC and plow. Verdance can just put earth cards in front of this and then decompose. We do hit the draw discard, which is great, coming in for 9. We are set up for the next turn. We're ahead on life. We still have our Spell Void 2. We do have some armor block value left. Yeah, New Beat of the Iron Song helps a lot, just trying the combo with Iron Song Pride right now. I was surprised that you were on Hold the Line. Like, I know that Kayo is a very popular deck right now, but I feel like your Kayo matchup has to be worse than your Syndra matchup. So I was surprised that that was the tech. But like, I don't know Dory well enough, and Hold the Line stonks are very high right now. Alright, Verdance blocks it out. D-reacts are good. We get to CNC for 7 go again. I think we are just taking this tailing down to 20, unfortunately. Yep, Verdance goes to 6. It's going to be CNC into Show of Strength. I wish that I had another blue here so that I could keep an arsenal, but we're still threatening 15. Verdance has to respect the CNC. She can't just play a D-react out of arsenal. I wouldn't want to play Hold the Line into Syndra. Like, I get it, but I think against Syndra, you're better off with just another 4. Like, yeah, it's utility blue. I guess. Maybe I am just too far down on it. Play Life from Arsenal. It's reasonable. There a reason you have avoided it? It's a miss. So for one thing, this list is from Shizuoka. It's just, it was the top 8 list, which I'm playing card for card. I think I am supposed to play Tear Limb from Limb for Florian. It just feels bad that it's a miss in the blue slot. I get that it's how you go over the top, so it might just be good enough, but man, it feels bad. I will at some point try it. I'm planning to play stream Florian KO later this week against one of my teammates, and I just want to build a deck that's like so unreasonable for every other matchup, but is teched to beat Florian, just to see how good it is. Why not bring Erase Face in this matchup? It's a 2 for 6, which Verdance can very easily block. It is a 2 block, which I hate. And turning off Verdance's Earth count is usually not good enough. It turns off Decompose, which is good. It turns her off when she is already online. But a lot of the time she just hits you with something. It has not seemed good enough. This is interesting. So I can take the 6 here, go to 14, which is totally fine. I'm alive. And then play Blood Rush, discard or hitch one of my reds, and then hope to hit the Beast Within. I think I'm taking 0 here, because if I pitch this Blood Rush, I'll never see it again. And I can't, if I could just pitch a red, that'd be great. I'd like play send Reckless Stampede, Arsenal Blood Rush, but I think I need to risk it for the biscuit here and try to do well with this Reckless Stampede. If I find some go again, I'm like turbo in. Blue. Damn it. Damn it, we discard the Reckless Stampede and we don't draw a blue. JK, this turn is terrible. Syndra's a great matchup, just hit her. The whole of the line was lucky, lining up pretty well with your Blood Rush. Still experimenting with the blues as well. Complete new game after new LLing wanted some blue D-reacts. No, it's reasonable. For sure. Yeah, I beat a Dory with Syndra at the Battle Hardened this weekend, and like I think it was just they just low rolled pretty hard, which was great for me. Just outraced. Like I had one turn where I got to push 26 damage after giving them a counter, and then the next, like, strip the hand. The next turn was just, good lord. It's happening again. The Verdance that just has infinite D-reacts. This is my Battle Hardened winning in all over again. Alright, this hand now has to deal with Felling of the Crown. Always great. Verdance is now online. I believe with this hand, I'm supposed to bottom one of these 3 blocks and then block 8. Arsenal the Buckwild and just reset. Verdance can decompose again, so I'm not insulated against Plow Under, unfortunately. The other line would be to bottom a blue and then block 9 and reset and hope that Verdance can't convert the hand. She has seen 3 Sink Belows, but no Rootbound Carapaces. I think that is what I'm going to do, and then I don't play into the Arsenal disruption. I'll just say Verdance can't convert hands very well. Let's put her on not being able to convert a hand very well. I do burn a Might this way, but I was always going to burn the Might if I just Arsenal the Buckwild. Okay. This hand converts. We'll see if Verdance can. Everbloom Life. Yeah, this Waning Moon. I am not going to AB here. Verdance Ping, sure. Verdance passes the turn, so we are not dead to the combo. I don't want to pitch the Smashing Ground. I want to pitch Mighty Windup. That's pretty good. We find the Swing Big, so I get to send 6, 3, 8. Here's the Rootbound. This Verdance has just had the D-react every turn. Good lord. I'm still threatening lethal this turn. Now I am not threatening lethal. This Verdance has just had it every turn. But at that point, that's what, like, this is what Verdance just is now, right? She just has it every turn. That's what the deck does, is have it. Swing Big coming in for 8. Verdance still has Millennium Tree. How many D-reacts do you have now? There's the Shelter. Oh my gosh. I don't think I've ranted. I know I've ranted in my BNR rants about generic D-reacts. I don't think I've ranted on stream about generic D-reacts and how they are a mistake. Fruits for 7? Okay, so I get to do block, block, block? Reckless Stampede? For 8? Hopefully win some clashes. Verdance is going to ponder here. Mental block. Damn it. Generic D-reacts are 100% a mistake. And before Shelter from the Storm was printed, I really did think there was a chance that LSS was going to ban Sync and Fate, because this was the height of Enigma, or this was at least Enigma's Ascent, where she was playing Sync, Fate, that all you got. The generic D-reacts at the time, that was like, this is just too good. It's a 0 for 4, it doesn't use your action point, it converts your hands, or it's a 0 for 4 that doesn't use your action point with upside. every defensive deck has access to them. Then you look at the generics that aggressive decks have access to. Scar for a Scar. Oh my god. I didn't win. Cast Bones, Jesus. Scar for a Scar, which requires actual management of your life total. There is a condition. And Ravenous Rabble, which has an actual deck building requirement, compared to Sync and Fate that just happen. They just exist. Instead of banning D-React, they printed Authority of Ataya so we can all buy a Fabled instead. True. 2, I will pitch Beast Within. Yes, because this is going to let me Show of Strength with AB2 twice. And if Verdance just puts 9 in front of this, I can discard the Mighty Windup to make 2 mites and then reset. All right, she's doing it. She's going for it. She shouldn't get there unless she has Snapback. Let's see. Light up the leaves, pitch a card. Waning Moon? Yeah, she should just be dead. We did it. We beat B-Diff. Verdance died with armor. Yay. That is what Kayo has going for him right now. Who was asking? Sack or Sock. I think that's what Kayo does have going for him, is I would say he does have a better Verdance matchup than Syndra does, because he can play AB2 very easily. He has a bunch of blocking armor. Ian, get out of here. He has a bunch of blocking armor. Reckless Stampede is very good into Syndra, or very good into Verdance. Get out of here, you sniper. Against Syndra, we're bringing in Erase Face, Pulping. I am not bringing Buck Wild. Bringing Show of Strength and Strongest Survive. Closed, loser. Why are we not bringing Buck Wild? Because it blocks 2. We're not bringing Cast Bones because I never want to play it. We are not bringing Challenge the Alpha because Syndra is not a brute. And we're not bringing Reckless Stampede because it doesn't block. I am sending damage at Syndra because I am testing her hand for 2 blocks. If we discard the Beast Within, then we are pushing more damage. I am going to follow the Wild Ride with Claw for 3 into Gauntlets into Run Roughshod, which will push damage over the top of Syndra's hand. I get to Arsenal the Wild Ride. Really, this is just about me pushing as much damage turn 0 as I can. I feel like banning all of them would go too far towards nerfing defensive strats. The problem with that is... Okay, so, sorry, I got interrupted from my rant. So the reason they can't ban Sync and Fate now is that they just printed Shelter, which costs $1 billion. So if you banned the $2 defense reaction in Sync and told people to buy the $80 defense reaction in Shelter, the game is way less affordable for new players, which is bad. LSS doesn't want that. The player base shouldn't want that because we want to be growing. But, oh my god, we've lost the game. Going too far in the other direction towards nerfing defensive stats doesn't take into account that every defensive deck has their own class defense reactions. Flicker Trick in Illusionist is a really good card that none of them are playing because they have Shelter, Sync, and Flicker, or Shelter, Sync, and Fate. Guardian has 1 billion defense reactions that they aren't playing because they have Shelter, Sync, and Fate. Trying out Pete's deck you posted. It's so good. I'm going to Flesh Bag here because I need... I'm going to Flesh Bag this turn. The question is, when am I Flesh Bagging this turn? And I think it's going to be on whatever chain link this is. Like, it's going to be this, Dagger, Yeah, because if I block this, then it is Dagger thing I have to block. Yeah. We're going to block on Chain Link 3. Guardian has a billion defense reactions. Earth has Rootbound Carapaces that they could be playing, and like, play yellow Rootbound. It blocks 3 and it accelerates what your deck is trying to do. Like, they shouldn't all have so much access to 0 for 4s with upside. Play block cards that LSS is apparently really trying to get us to do. Like, there are just ways that you don't need to play all of the generic D-Reacts, or you get, like, play On the Horizon that they're so excited about. It'd be cool, but I agree on the shelter price problem. I'm hoping there's a world, like, a year from now where they ban all the generics, that they printed enough good block cards and D-Reacts that we are happy to play those instead of Sink and Shelter. But I get how as of now it's not good. I think Shelter was a mistake, 100%. I just think generic D-Reacts shouldn't exist. And, like, I get it. As an aggro deck, I play them too. It isn't like I'm not playing those cards. Like, Kayo isn't, but Syndra's playing Shelter. I brought Sink to the Battle Hardened. As Slippy, I was playing Sink and Shelter. So I benefit from them too. But taking the generic D-Reacts away from aggro decks doesn't hurt as much. Taking them away from the defensive decks forces the defensive decks to be the thing they are supposed to be, which is, hey, play your class. Why did I flashback there? It's because oh my god. So we've lost the game. This is a 27 blue deck and we've drawn 8 reds in a row. 2 of these don't block. Like, I could pitch both of these to play Wild Ride. I'm going to take as much damage as Ian will send here. I'm going to break Sash. I'm going to play Wild Ride, pitching probably CNC, depending on if Syndra arsenals or not, and just hope to find a blue. Hope to find something that makes this hand work. Like, if we've just drawn 4 blues, just drawing 4 reds here, this is an unwinnable game. Like, we'll see if we can make it happen, if we can put something together, but it's so statistically unlikely that this hand gets drawn. It's so bad. So the fact that Ian flicked on Chainlink 1 means that he has a bunch of 1 costs. The fact that he Ancestraled there means that he doesn't have ninja cards in hand, ninja attacks in hand. He has already flicked. This is like so awkward. I want to block this because it will interrupt whatever his chain link is. I guess I'm supposed to put leathers in front of it to interrupt the mask trigger. I could also take the 1, block whatever this is if it attacks with Command and Conquer if he does an arsenal. I think I'm just taking this damage. Taking generic D-Rex will probably be better for defensive decks in the long run. On-hit disruption will be more meaningful and will make 2 blocks more a cost. Okay, he does vest here, so this is breaking point. Okay, so now I will just block. My hand is going to be a 3-card 6 to erase face. It's so bad. This is so bad. Eight reds in a row. Smile. The fact that Ian has a fealty means that the erase phase here probably isn't even that devastating. There are definitely hands where Syndra can like break fealty, play Brand with Cinderclaw. Brand with Cinderclaw turns on the next thing, makes it draconic. Hey, we have cards that do something. A hand that actually functions. Art of Dragon Blood is 4 go again, but it will not discount anything else unless Ian can make them draconic, which he probably could. With a Brand with Cinderclaw, yeah, that's pretty good. We are going to block this with Gauntlet. We're going to get the Flick Knives out of Syndra. The upside of this line is because Syndra is erase-faced, she cannot bring her daggers back. The daggers are not draconic in graveyard. So this might be a turn where we're just blocking whatever the next thing is. Can go block, block. Wild Ride, hope we don't discard the erase face. Wait, what? Wait. Face is erased. Your daggers are not draconic. I feel like this shouldn't work. Have I red brand with Cinderclaw? Yes. Your ability is discounted. Yeah, I don't think this should work. This has not worked for me previously because the daggers aren't draconic in the graveyard. Cards and tokens you own because you still lose the cards, or you still own the cards while they're in your graveyard. Bugged, maybe? This hasn't worked for me previously. Yeah, I don't think that's supposed to work. And it has not worked for me in past games, so I don't know. There's a world where we take a safer line of just erase face, discard Mighty Windup, but we're behind in this game, and I need to try to make something happen. So we're going to go for the high upside line of Wild Ride, Claw, erase face, and just see if that's good enough. We still have Sash. We haven't seen Blood Rush yet. Perfect. We draw a blue and then discard a blue, so we do get to do the thing. This is going to threaten 9 more damage. It is potentially meaningful disruption. The fact that Syndra doesn't currently have daggers is nice. I don't believe Peter's list runs blues into Kayo. Maybe you don't own them, kind of like how Lyeth can play Rouse, Revealing Pulverize. So I believe the difference is that I have to read Lyeth. I believe Lyeth says cards you control. Erase Face says cards you own. The difference is that no matter where your card is, you own it. As opposed to, let me flip over here. Let's bring up Fabry real quick so that I can reference Lyeth's text. Yeah, Lyeth is cards you control. So cards you control are cards on the arena. It's why Kayo says cards you own get +1 while they're in any zone. So that's why it affects cards in hand, which is why you can pitch a blue 5 and turn on Buckwild. Erase faces cards you own, which is everything. We can take this damage. What am I doing this turn? I am intending to block this and this. I know this is a Rising Resentment, which I shouldn't know. I will block that. We could roll Scabs here, but I don't want to. I am thinking, maybe it's because Talishar, he doesn't own the card because he didn't pay for them. True. Paying to get your daggers back. Are you going to flick me? No. So now we have an interesting choice. The Erase Face will attack for 7 and turn off Syndra again. He does have the daggers back, so it isn't terrible for him. We could Scabskin Sash, but this game is close enough that I don't want to throw away potential damage and disruption. I'm just going to throw the Erase Face for 7. And Arsenal to swing big and just try to play the block 2, send 2 game. Ancestral Empowerment, this should be Shelter. Question mark. It could just be block 3, take 4, because none of Syndra's cards will be Ninja at this point. And then we Arsenal to swing big. At this point, we're just looking for Go Again. And we find Bear Fangs. So that should be enough to end the game. This could, it depends on if Syndra arsenals or not. Peter's list is playing 3 Shelter from the Storms against Kayo. So if Syndra arsenals here, I might expect that it is a D-react. Got Rabble for 4. I do want to block here to play around this being a D-react, in which case I can also block like this, which lets me make sure the top of my deck isn't Blood Rush. It's always a Scab's turn, but yeah, no, this is the human choice. I think we're going to block 4, and I'm going to Clash. I want to see what the top of my deck is. Is Show of Strength. I do want to sink the Show, because if I play the Pulping, pitching Beast Within, I want to draw a blue. Damn, can't believe you won the Clash. Yeah, it's wild. Please attack with this. Okay, Flick is a good start. What did you show me? You showed me Hot on Their Heels? That's fine. You did not vest, so you are going to attack? No attack, so now I'm spooked. This makes me want to cry. I am going to Pulping here. Pulping, finding Pulping is not great. Let's see if you have it. Yes, okay. So we get stuffed, which is unfortunate. But we're not out. Syndra only has a 3-card hand. We can definitely block around that. We only need to block the last chain link. I could also block with this Vigorous Smash Up because we do have the Sash. So I get a resource, I get to discount my turn. Banishing Rising Resent, or banishing Hot on Their Heels? That's fine, I will get marked. I really want Syndra to attack with this last card in hand because I want to know that it isn't Shelter. We get flicked, that's fine. We're going to be marked. Perfect. If you are breaking that, it means that that is a 1 cost, or it's just Dagger. If okay, we need to Scabs. 2 is fine. Here we are going to play the Pulping. I wanted to play around this being Shelter. If I had rolled a 4, then it doesn't matter. Oh my god. Stop. It's also a shame that these have been Pulpings and not Wild Rides. Like, I think Scabsing there was correct. We just need our opponent to, like, we IP2 here, which is really unfortunate. Syndra has a large hand. Like, we just needed Syndra to not have the Shelter. We needed Go again. Maybe I'm supposed to block more conservatively, knowing that we have Sash. I could be at 9 here, and I've been able to break the Sash. Like, I think I've played this poorly, considering that they were Pulpings. If they were Wild Rides, then all of my lines make sense. It feels like we've lost this game because of these Shelters just being able to stuff our Pulpings, and the Pulpings not being Wild Ride. And I think Pulping is right in this matchup. All right, Wrath for 2. We're dead. Yeah, I'll make Ian kill me, but we're dead here. Because it's going to be 2, 2, Flick, 2, Boots, 2. Yep, we are very dead. So this game started rather poorly and then just kept being bad. We managed to catch up a bit. The 8 red in a row help a lot too. Yeah, it started bad, we managed to catch up, and then just getting stuffed by the Shelters was like, we can't win through that. I can play more conservatively, but still, like, maybe I live this turn, but we still have to block a ton, and then I think we still just don't get there. Yeah, She had very good turns outside of the erase faces. It was rough. It was rough drawing the 8 reds, just not being able to function. And like we could kind of play around it, but generally not good. We will board. Let's go Salty Runback. 100%. This hand blocks terribly, so I'm probably going to have to give armor here. I will try to block as best I can. This is, again, so we being Kayo, we're supposed to push damage on turn 0 against Syndra to test her hand for 2 blocks. She being Syndra, she's supposed to push turn 0 to test our hand for non-blocks. We also have a fair number of 2 blocks. This I can block as well. I'm expecting, right, this 1 we can take. You are going to flick Syndra. Mask of Momentum is not currently active, and I don't think it can be active. We do need to take this damage. This is Chainlink 2. If Syndra attacks with this, I need to be able to block it. Would you still run Pulping if you knew the Syndras was on Shelters? Do I know that she's on Shelters and Overcrowded, or is it just Shelters? I'll play Pulpings into a deck with 3D reacts. I won't play Pulping into a deck with 6. And maybe we're supposed to just say, yeah, that's what Syndras are doing now. That's what I want to do. Peter's List is playing, yeah. So now we get to block. We start the game at 35. We are marked. We've given a piece of armor, but Syndra does not have an arsenal. Would you still run Pulping? I think we probably need to not play Pulpings against Syndra. We'll play Buckwilds instead, which also have the benefit of blocking too. They work better on our Sash turn. If those Pulpings were Buckwilds, I think we win that game. It's a tough one. Like, Syndra is a very good deck right now, and there are a few different ways that she can be built. That's unfortunate. I think I'm supposed to Arsenal this Wild Ride. We still have most of our armor. Nice erase face, he says. I know. I think we want to be setting up here. We can block around the breaking point. I would like to pretend that I'm capable of drawing a Blood Rush Bellow in my games. Oh my god, I was about to lose it. You have no idea how mad I was going to be if this was another 4-red hand. We're probably sashing here to try and do something with this turn. We are taking this 4. We are intending to Flesh Bag, Armor Block, whatever the next thing is. Blue one time? Never. Block, block. We get to stuff the mask trigger. We are going to get flicked. Syndra could vest here to buy the dagger back, or could just not flick. I think this is a Sash turn considering how many go again, sources of go again we have. Oh my god. Now it has become a Blood Rush turn. Because we cannot Wild Ride here. We could Claw, Gauntlet, Swing Big for a total of 12 damage holding on to the Wild Ride. I think we have to Blood Rush. Okay, we are good players of Flesh and Blood. So we are going to Mandible Claw. We will Wild Ride and then Wild Ride. And just hope that doing all of this damage is enough. This is 8, this will be 7. Hey, hate to see that Blood Rush go, but glad that it was on Chainlink 3 instead of 2. Okay, so now we're up 24 points against Syndra. This is not and not an unlosable game. We'll see what Syndra can do. So what would I like to do with this hand? I would like to claw for 4, pitching, smashing ground, discard Mighty Windup, send CNC. That might be aggressive, considering that we can also just block for 6. Imagine, that was a pretty good Savage Sass. Imagine drawing and not discarding your BRB. God Gamer. At some point, I need to put a compilation together of every time I played Kayo, had something that was completely out of my control pay off, and then me call myself a God Gamer, because that's what Brute Life is. Brute Life is taking credit for things that you didn't do on purpose. I am going to take 3 here, because I don't need to block this one. I am intending to block whatever this is, and I'm intending to overblock to play around Ancestral Empowerment, of which I have seen none. We will block this with Command and Conquer. There's the flick. Keep the chain alive. Hopefully the next thing is only 3, so that I can block for 4 and still play around Ancestral. Lava Burst with Boots means that I am going to block with Smashing Ground, knowing that Ian will draw a card, break Flight Path, and still play out the hand, but I want to get 3 value out of my Smashing Ground instead of 2 value out of my Mighty Windup. This is fine. There are the boots. Rising Resentment for 3 go again is potentially good if that card is a 1 cost. Brute Life never does anything random, it's always intentional. You're so right. I'm assuming this is going to Arsenal. Thank gosh. Now you have to respect my CNC for 7. My sweet sun bun wants to come sit in my lap. Hopefully you can see his little stretch. You are blocking for 7. Hey, we got Mask of Momentum. Now I get to value block my Syndra opponent. You see the breaking point, cut through. Oh, oopsie. Alright, CNC for 7. Let's try this again. Cat butt, good, you did see it. We get Mask and Blood Splattered fast? Oh, and discard Shelter? Okay, acceptable. Flick Knives is still here, but again, I just get to value block my Syndra opponent. I don't have to worry about any big damage spikes. This hand is kind of interesting. We don't have Might. I can pitch to Claw, discard Mighty Windup, Strongest Survive for 8. I can Buck Wild, Strongest Survive for 10, with Strongest Survive having an actual on-hit that matters. I can cut through for 3, we're gonna call it cut through for 4, so this will put me to 8. I don't think I need to block this. If I'm blocking something, it's going to be the next thing. Again, just playing for value at this point. Syndra doesn't have on-hits that matter. Perfect. So this is a 1 cost? Question mark? Should I give up on Prism right now and switch to one of the top tier decks? I mean, do it. Play to your heart. What does your heart think you should do? I think Syndra or Prism just has enough bad matchups. Like, she gets dumped on by Kayo. I think your Earth matchups are kind of bad. And you like are racing Syndra. I don't think Syndra's really teching for Prism right now, so you can get there over Syndra's. But Syndra can also just blow you up, which is very possible. You know the answer to that. Should I give him? I know. Play your heart. Just play. Like honestly, play the thing that you're good at. Like if you just have enough reps on Prism that you're gonna skill diff people, then I think that's totally reasonable. Put Syndra to 1. You show me an Art of Dragon Blood, which can be used for this fealty, or used with the fealty. We draw some cards that don't block very well. I can afford to take this 4. I'm going to start value blocking the next few things that get played. Again, there are no on-hits that I have to care about. Demonstrate Devotion. We are going to cover with 4. I just want to play shiny cards. Play Prism. Just stun on people. Foot Knives here, taking us to 3. Does Ian have the last attack? Ravenous Rabble. We are definitely blocking with Show of Strength. Do I need to block with Rex? I think I want to, because I want to stay out of flick range as much as possible. Also, we have to care about Beast Within, which we haven't seen yet. Bare Fangs comes in for 8. We do not hit a Beast Within, but we do hit a 6. Let's see how many cards we can get out of our Syndra opponent. I saw Peter Budenzek block a Strongest Survive for 12 in the Pro Quest with Mask of Momentum and 2 Shelters from the Storm from hand. Take 2 damage, show a card with more than 3 power, and win the game. It was the sickest thing I've ever seen. I thought he was dead. I was so certain that he was just dead to Strongest Survive for 12, and he managed to win that game. It was wild. Surely Pulping wins. Hey, no Shelter in Arsenal this time. We got there. Quick remit. Oh, we get 1 more. Oh my god, this hand is unfortunate, I would say. So we need to give this is not good. This is really bad. I switched on Prism for a bit. There was a value in learning new decks. I knew Kayo well because it was my most studied matchup, so I went with him. It's been fun, but I do miss my shinies. You flicked. Are you getting a resource here? No, you just wanted to hit on this chain link. I will block this. Let's see what the next thing is. Start the game at 36. If this is a banish, it would be Hunt the Hunter or Demonstrate Devotion. So go to 36, potentially go to 31. I think that's fine. Syndra doesn't get an Arsenal. Goes for the rebuy. Hopefully this is just Arsenal pass. The 2 red wild rides here are pretty unfortunate. Not being able to just put more blocks in front of what Syndra's doing. Okay, we draw into a blue. I don't think I need to sash here. This is fine. I am going to just claw Arsenal Wild Ride. Almost every hero at various armories, but I need to lock in and practice with Prism. She's good. Like, you just skill diff people with Prism. She always has that potential to just spike an Arclight or like turn 0 Library Genesis. Alright, we've got Blood Rush in hand, Wild Ride in Arsenal. I think this is when we say we're not blocking most of this. We can start giving some armor here if Syndra gives us the opportunity. If I Flesh Bag here, I think I can Flesh Bag here. This takes a card out of Syndra's hand. It potentially resets the Mask of Momentum. This will discount. All right, cheater. Judge. still want to block with the Mask of Momentum. So assuming there's no like ancestral empowerment, we block here. Our opponent is going to flick, which he forgot to do. That's why we reset. So this keeps the chain alive. My thought was if there is no flick, then it is kunai attack attack, and I only need to block the last thing to keep the Mask of Momentum from hitting. Now, if we're getting flicked here, then I still only need to block the next thing. I don't need to be concerned about giving a card from hand. I can just give 2 pieces of armor, which I will do. We've already seen the flick. There is no blood-spattered vest, so there's no resource. I don't need to worry about this being a breaking point. I just get to put 4 in front of this. If this is ancestral empowerment, then I'm super sad. I am now super sad. Oh, it's throw dagger. That is potentially worse, and he did vest. Okay, I'm taking this damage. Yeah, we get caught by the throw dagger there. That was very good. Mask of Momentum happens. Using the vest just to ensure that if this is a 1 cost, he can play it. We'll take 3 more. Syndra gets an Arsenal. I am going to 5-card Blood Rush with Wild Ride and Arsenal. Hopefully I can hold on to this CNC to disrupt at some point, but if we discard it to the Blood Rush or discard it to the Wild Ride, that's still fine. It doesn't benefit from Blood Rush. Oh, okay. Deal. I will take 1 more point of damage. Just making sure that he got value out of his blood splattered vest that he had used just in case. Alright, we discard the CNC, that's fine. Blood Rush again, because we're God Gamers. Let's see if we can get +6 out of each of our Blood Rushes and judge. That's interesting. So, Wild Ride, Pitch, Float 2. We don't need to sash here. So I am not going to. Right, so now we get to Mandible Claw Smashing Ground. We still have our sash. We are not threatening lethal, but the Smashing Ground is now online. Oh, oops. Imagine being me. And forgetting that you have 2 floating resources. So threatening 9 off of this. We are threatening the on hit, which is relevant because our opponent has a card in Arsenal. It could be Shelter. It is not. It is Burning Blade Dance. We are up 17 on our Syndra opponent, which, I mean, we're not out of the woods, especially if we draw a bunch of reds. This looks like a turn where we're just going to take as much damage as we can, crack Sash, throw the Wild Ride, keep a CMC and hope it's enough. Cut through with a flick. Currently at 2 Draconic Chain Links. I am going to let Syndra draw as many cards as she would like. Because I think, I hope, I pray I can take the damage. Rising Resentment for 3 go again. You have flicked. If this is a 1 cost, this is also a Mask of, I mean, I guess I'll do this. Can block around Mask of Momentum. Might as well. Cool. Syndra back both daggers. We go to 9, up on 5. We are breaking Sash this turn. If I get to keep the CMC, that's pretty good. Just because it's a playable card. Pulping is even better, because depending on how much damage Syndra takes from this Wild Ride, the Pulping might just win the game through Dominate. Taking 2, going to 3. This Pulping is going to come in for 7, so it shouldn't win the game. But it will get close. So blocking 2. If Syndra's hand is all 2 blocks, it does actually just kill her. Discard Shelter? Interesting. So we get there. We get to do Wild Ride, pitch Buckwild, draw this Pulping, send, I don't know, something. Turns out double Blood Rush wins the game. I've been told that. That was Peter's one loss in the PQ. Disruption, BRB, BRB. Back to back to back until Huntsman. Huntsman was battle hardened. Yeah, so if you didn't know, there was an Arachne Huntsman that made the finals of Battle Hardened Sonoma, lost to Majinbe in what was a pretty close game. The Huntsman had gone through Peter's Syndra in top 4 through active fatigue. It was a wild happenstance that Hunter or Hunted banished a Ravenous Rabble off of the top of the deck, and Peter had 2 Ravenous Rabbles in hand. So effectively, Hunter or Hunted blocked 13. But yes, a Huntsman did beat a Syndra to make it to the finals of Battle Hardened Sonoma. Huntsman is, unfortunately, a real deck. Yeah, the Erase Face Game 1 were surprisingly unimpactful. It's true. Sometimes she just goes anyway. Yeah, Erase Face is fine tech against Syndra. I think you should play it in Kayo, you should play it in Florian or Verdance, but there is a really good chance that it just doesn't do anything to Syndra. But it's good in other matchups. It's good potentially against Earth. I don't think it's worth playing if you have a better option, like a 2-for-8 in KO. But it could be relevant to Earth. It's really good into Mechanologist. There were a lot of Dash IOs floating around Sonoma. I think there were it was 14 Syndras, 12 KOs, 10 Dios. Erase Face is really good against Dash IO. But yeah, surprisingly, it can get Syndra. We had it, saw it in game 2 against Syndra where Ian blocked with Oath of Loyalty and I think Hunter or Hunted. It would have just mattered there because he wouldn't have been able to play through Erase Face with Oath of Loyalty. But yeah, other turns it was take 6. Take 4, send back 12 damage. I didn't realize how well Hunter or Hunted worked with Huntsman until yesterday and it blew my mind. That's the interaction, is Huntsman gets to just say, yeah, I know the top card of your deck, I will call that, I will make 2 to 4 silver. It's very good. Huntsman just has to survive the rest of the game. So I've been streaming for a little under 2.5 hours. Oh my god, I've been streaming for almost 3 hours. That's right, I started at 10. Yeah, we're gonna call it here. Super fun games, really interesting stuff. Had a lot of fun. I think KO is a good deck. I do want to keep testing and refining it. It has the Florian problem. It has a mid-range problem where other mid-range decks can out-mid-range it because it trends aggro. But I think KO can absolutely high roll into very powerful turns, has great resources in Blood Rush Bellow, Cast Bones. I need to test Song of Sinew more. Apparently I need to test no Blood Rush so I can play Cast Bones and Song of Sinew. I don't know how good that's going to be, but it's worth testing. I want to test more Go again for the Florian matchup to try and out-aggro that mid-range. I think KO has legs. I don't think it's a better aggro deck than Syndra, but I think it does have a place in the meta, and you need to at least have a plan for KO, or else it'll run you over. Really great fridge, a surprising amount of Go again. I hope you enjoyed this. I'll be back on Thursday. I think it's going to be KO Florian, testing against another Metal Fab token, but we'll see. I might end up playing Syndra. I was supposed to play Syndra today. I did not. Peter is going to post his deck tech on his channel, Mask of Momentum, on YouTube. It's a really cool list. Battle Hardened top 4, ProQuest Plus winner. I want to put more reps into it. Very strong. But I'll be back Thursday. Thanks for hanging out, everyone who was here. This was awesome. I'll be back Thursday. Let me give you the whole slew of command deck if you want to play this. Command Hemel if you want to buy this deck in paper. Hemel has the best prices around. Strongly recommend buying from him. And new is Command Data, I'm now sponsored by Fablazing data. If you want to test, check Kayo's win rates into meta heroes across callings, battle hardens, Talishar gameplay. That is the place to do it. You also have win percentages for individual cards in matchups. How much does playing Blood Rush Bellow help against certain decks? How much does playing Reckless Stampede help against certain decks? If you want to fine-tune your sideboarding, Fablazing is the spot to do it. I love Fablazing. I don't play enough Fab to have anecdotal evidence, anecdotal feelings into all of my matchups, and I use Fablazing to supplement that knowledge. That's how I know, without playing any KO games into Florian, that is a bad matchup, because I can look at calling Shizuoka, calling Hamburg, Battle Hardened Guadalajara, Battle Hardened Sonoma, Battle Hardened wherever it was in France. It's awesome. Highly recommend. Check out Fablazing. Thank you for sponsoring my stream. Thank you, Hemel. And thank you, everyone who was here. Until Thursday, have a great one.